Now, here's an aha moment on Rich Prater's Darlie Routier case, episode 15, where I was up on the panel. Here's an aha moment. I'm going through this whole thing because I want to catch Mystery Maverick about something else. So I'm looking at this. Here's an aha moment about the lie detector test. I want to pose a question after I let it play for a minute.
Issues, some other problems, and I also know that this case really put her through the ringer personally. And so I try not to overly bug people. I got to give you credit, Brian. You got a lot more balls than I do about getting in touch with people. You really do.
I tell you, Baja was ready to speak to me again, but once I put the interview out for everyone to see, there were some supporters. There's good Darlie supporters that I like a lot, but some supporters reached her and she will not talk about it again.
Yeah.
I wish she would.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of that happens in this case, Brian. There's a lot of there's a lot of nutcases that surround this case, sad to say, and with a lot of misinformation.
Yeah, but Bathsheba asked, why would a guilty Darlie take part in all these experiments? That's a very good question. Darlie did take a lie detector test. And in that lie detector test, it was never released to the public, but they said it was inconclusive. On an inconclusive lie detector test, the protocol is to retake that test. Darlie refuses.
Well, as far as right, that's what Darlie Lynn said. Darlie Key also said that it come back inconclusive.
Now, one thing of this is that there were only 3 people in that room when Darlie took the lie detector test. It was her attorney, Darlie, and the person that gave the lie detector test. So how could Darlie Key say it was inconclusive unless she heard it from Darlie? But that's not the point that I'm trying to get at here. Listen to this.
But let's also not forget that Darren's lie detector test come back that he failed with flying colors.
One of the questions that Darren was asked is, "Do you know the name of the person who killed your children?" And he said no.
Absolutely, and I would. And nervousness now. When I saw the interview that Darlie Key had with Robert Riggs outside of the jail, he had already known that Darlie took the test, and he asked Darlie Key, "Did you know she took a lie detector test?" And Darlie Key said, "No, I didn't."
Well, I mean, she might have just been not wanting that to get out there.
Yeah, she might have just not been wanting that to get out here. Now, listen, they double down on this. Check this out.
Because I mean, it's not. I know a lot of people tear Darlie Key apart for different various things. I know there's been some inconsistencies. I'd be a liar if I said otherwise. I've seen it.
Darlie Key, she is a good woman, and she suffered all through this. And I'm gonna tell you, you know my case. My son's doing life in prison now for basically the same thing. The first person to reach out to me and ask, after all the fighting and bickering and there was mean stuff going back and forth before, but the first person to reach out to me, even on the non-supporter side, was Darlie Key. And I will give her credit for that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I got to know her pretty good, Brian. She's an incredible lady. She really is.
She is.
So
I gave her a little bit of props because she's had to put up with this shit for 20-some years. So I gave Darlie Key a little bit of props.
But she's also tough. And
but I just feel they're just trying to protect. She's just trying to protect their daughter.
She's just trying to protect her daughter. Okay. That's the one I wanted to get at. That's Mystery Maverick. Let me let it go for just a second.
I mean, to be honest, I don't see anything that her or Darren's mum's done. I just feel like is to protect Darlie, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I think, if it was my daughter, and I believe she was innocent, and I believe that Darlie Keys asked her as well. She said that she asked her, "Did you do this?" Mm-hmm. I mean, and if you believed your daughter, you're going to do anything you can.
Darlie Key had said that it never crossed her mind that Darlie had done this. Never. Darlie Key had once said, "It's never crossed my mind." But you just heard Tara say, I asked her, "Did you do this?" So it did cross her mind. But listen.
like you believe your daughter's innocent.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't have it any other way, you know. Like us mothers are mother bears, you know.
Tara,
We'll do anything for our kids.
Tara, there's interviews where Darlie had said on TV that the thought never crossed her mind that Darlie did this. But then later on, we find out that she asked her, "Is there anything you need to tell me?" So that means the thought did cross her mind at one point. And I do believe she's trying to protect her child. And in my case, I tried to protect my child while he was standing trial.
Now she's trying to protect her child, so that means that she lied to protect her child, right? Let me show you real quick. Now, remember, she said she's doing this to protect her daughter, right? She'd do anything to protect her daughter, including lie and during a national TV interview, right? Check this out. She not only lies, she doubles down on it.
Okay, Robert, thank you very much.
Darlie Routier secretly took a lie detector test last year before the murder trial that sentenced her to death. Its results were never made public. Defense attorneys usually don't hesitate to release a polygraph test when it's inconclusive or confirms their clients are telling the truth. Bill Parker, a private investigator and polygraph examiner who consulted for Rowlett Police on the case, says the covert test probably indicates Routier flunked.
I believe that logic would dictate to us that had she done well on any of the issues in the polygraph examination, we would have all heard about it long before now.
While Routier prepares for her appeal on Texas death row for women, her mother and family campaigns to clear her.
She wanted to take a polygraph. She wanted to do hypnosis.
Did she ever take a polygraph?
No, she never took a polygraph.
But in fact, Routier's court-appointed attorney obtained a sealed motion for a polygraph.
Now notice, Darlie Key brought it up first. Said she wanted to take a polygraph, she wanted to do hypnosis. All right, she brought it up first. Okay, so check this out.
Shortly before jury selection began. The judge ordered the Dallas County Jail to allow the polygraph test without the knowledge of the district attorney's office. According to jail records, on Friday, October 4th, during the afternoon, Routier was moved from her cell in the Lou Sterrett Justice Center through the basement sally port into a room at the Crowley Courts building. It was in there that she was given a polygraph exam, which lasted 6 hours. Routier's mother met with her daughter within minutes of finishing the polygraph.
Wouldn't she have told you that she
I believe she would have, yes.
And why don't you think she did?
I don't know.
Routier's mother says Doug Parks, the court-appointed lawyer at the time, did not tell the family about the polygraph.
She knew. Because she met her right after the polygraph test. So what Tara and Rich are basically saying is that she wanted to protect her daughter because she believed she was innocent. And that includes lie. That includes lie on national TV. That she would lie to protect her daughter because she thinks she's innocent. Which is exactly what Danelle's doing out here. Which Darlie Key's been doing forever. She would lie.
Parks declined to discuss the polygraph, citing attorney-client privilege. Parks filed this bill with Dallas County 4 days after the polygraph, requesting a $1,000 payment for 5 hours of confidential consultation. In a follow-up letter on the bill to the county auditor, Parks wrote, "This is still a sensitive issue, and identification of the consultant would violate an attorney-client privilege." Under a recent court ruling, polygraph evidence is not always inadmissible in court. Investigator Bill Parker says if Darlie Routier truthfully answered the questions about the murder of her sons, then she should authorize the release of her polygraph test charts and results. Robert Riggs, Channel 8 News.
Now, Darlie Key got the results of that test as soon as Darlie came out of there. And she knew that she failed it. This is my opinion. She knew she failed it. Because if she would have passed it, she wouldn't have said no, she didn't. They would have been shouting that from the mountaintops. But what I wanted to get out here about Rich and Tara is that they are okay with Darlie Routier's mother protecting Darlie, even to the point of lying to the public.